The door clicked shut behind him with a quiet finality. He turned just in time to see the alien queen's hand slide away from the control panel. The lock sealed, soft blue symbols glowing across the metal surface. Her chamber was vast, lit by floating lights that pulsed gently, like a calm heartbeat. "The door is locked," she said, her voice smooth but heavy with meaning. "You will stay in my room tonight, human." He swallowed. Not from fear, but from the way she looked at him. Not as a ruler. Not as a conqueror. But as someone who had chosen. "You are not my prisoner," she continued, stepping closer. Her presence was warm, strangely comforting. "You are here because you see me, not my crown." Across the galaxy, she was feared. Desired. Untouchable. Yet tonight, she stood without guards, without armor. Just her, and him. "You could command anyone," he said quietly. "Why me?" Her eyes softened. "Because everyone kneels," she replied. You stood. Silence settled between them, thick and electric. She gestured toward the resting alcove, where soft alien fabrics shimmered like starlight. "Rest," she said. "Tomorrow, the universe will see me as queen again." She paused, then added in a softer tone, "But tonight, I wish to be seen as more." He lay down, heart racing, aware of how close she was, how close they were to something neither dared name aloud. The lights dimmed, the chamber humming gently around them. Outside, empires waited. Inside, destiny quietly changed. Morning light filtered into the chamber like liquid crystal, painting soft colors across the walls. He woke slowly, unsure for a moment where he was, until he sensed her presence. The alien queen stood near the viewing window, gazing at the stars. Without her crown, without the symbols of power, she looked almost unreal. Not distant. Not feared. Just, alone. "You did not run," she said without turning. He sat up. "You didn't give me a reason to." That made her smile, small, genuine, dangerous in a way no weapon could be. She turned toward him, the soft glow catching in her eyes. "All my life," she said, "beings have wanted my throne, my favor, my body, but never my trust." She stepped closer. The space between them felt charged, every breath louder than the hum of the ship. "You slept peacefully," he said. "That surprised me." "It shouldn't have," she replied quietly. "For once, I was not pretending." She reached out, hesitating for a fraction of a second before her fingers brushed his hand. The contact was light, but it sent warmth through him, steady, grounding. "I locked the door last night," she said, "to protect myself. Not from you, but from the universe." He looked up at her. "Then let me stay. Not because I'm trapped, but because I choose to." Her breath caught. Slowly, she sat beside him, their shoulders touching. No commands. No titles. Just two beings sharing a fragile moment in a galaxy that allowed none. Outside, alarms began to stir, councils, fleets, expectations calling her back. But for a few stolen seconds, she leaned closer, her forehead resting gently against his. "Tonight changed everything," she whispered. "Yes," he replied. "And tomorrow, we face it together." The stars watched in silence as a queen made her most dangerous choice yet. The council chamber was colder than the queen's private room, sharper, brighter, unforgiving. 12 figures stood in a perfect circle as the alien queen entered, her crown restored, her posture once again untouchable. But this time, she was not alone. Murmurs rippled through the council when they saw the human at her side. "A human does not belong here," one elder hissed. "Nor in the royal chamber," another added. The queen raised her hand. Silence fell instantly. "He belongs where I place him," she said, her voice calm, and absolute. The human felt the weight of 1,000 eyes, yet he did not bow. He did not shrink. He stood as he had before her throne days ago, steady, unafraid. That was when the challenge was declared. Let him prove his worth, the war regent announced. Not by strength, but by will. A crystalline platform rose from the floor, glowing with alien runes. The trial of presence, designed to break minds, expose fear, force submission. The human stepped forward without hesitation. The moment he entered the field, memories crashed into him, loss, loneliness, Earth's blue skies fading behind him. The pressure was crushing. Across the chamber, the queen's fingers curled tightly against her throne. Enough, she whispered, but did not command. Because she was watching something impossible. He did not kneel. He breathed. He endured. He remembered who he was. Slowly, the runes dimmed. The platform powered down. Silence. He stands, an elder muttered. Unbroken. The queen rose. This is why, she said, descending the steps, her gaze never leaving him. Not because he is human. But because he chooses to stand when others bow. She turned to the council, eyes blazing. Question him again, she warned softly, and you question me. Later, away from the throne and the watching eyes, she faced him in the quiet corridor. You risked everything, she said. So did you, he replied. For a heartbeat, the queen forgot the galaxy, and allowed herself to smile. The summons came without warning. A crimson signal flared across the queen's private console, ancient, absolute. The High Dominion had spoken. An outer system was in revolt, and only the queen herself could command obedience. She stood in silence after reading it. You're leaving, he said softly, already knowing the answer. She nodded once. If I do not go, they will call it weakness. If I take you, they will call it manipulation. For the first time since they had met, uncertainty shadowed her eyes. So this is goodbye, he asked. She stepped closer, lowering her voice. No. This is distance. Outside the hangar, her flagship waited, vast, powerful, ready to bend star systems to her will. Guards, advisors, commanders all watched carefully as she approached. She stopped in front of him. In my absence, she said, you will remain here. Protected. Observed. Trusted, he asked. Her gaze softened. Always. She hesitated, just long enough for anyone watching to miss it, then pressed a small, glowing sigil into his palm. It was warm, alive. A royal mark, she whispered. Hidden. It binds you to me. Before he could respond, she turned away. The ramp closed. The ship rose into the stars. Days passed. Whispers followed him through the palace corridors. Some feared him. Others hated him. And some, dangerously, smiled too politely. One night, as he stood alone beneath the artificial sky, the sigil in his hand pulsed sharply. A message, not words, but feeling. I am surrounded by allies who smile, and enemies who bow. He closed his fingers around the light. So am I, he thought. Far away, aboard a warbound flagship, the alien queen stood alone in her command chamber, fingers resting on the same symbol, glowing faintly. Across space, across power and politics, they felt it at the same time. This separation was not the end. It was the test. The palace fell silent the moment the lights dimmed. At first, it felt like a malfunction, until the guards stopped moving. One by one, they froze, eyes glassy, weapons slipping from their hands. The human knew then. This was no accident. From the shadows, the war regent emerged, his voice smooth with false regret. You were never meant to survive this long, he said. A symbol is useful, until it inspires rebellion. Energy fields snapped into place around the chamber. The sigil in the human's palm burned hot. You should kneel, the regent continued. Confess your influence over the queen. I might let you live. The human straightened instead. I never influenced her, he said. She chose. That was when the alarms screamed. Space itself seemed to bend as a massive presence dropped out of hyperspace above the capital. Every screen in the palace ignited with the same image. The Queen's flagship. Her voice thundered through the halls, calm and lethal. Stand down, she commanded. Or be remembered as a mistake. The war regent's confidence cracked. You left the front. I returned, she interrupted, stepping through a surge of light as if the stars themselves had opened for her. Because you crossed a line. She moved to the human's side without hesitation, her hand closing around his, publicly, unmistakably. He is under my protection, she declared. And under my claim. The council gasped. This empire, she continued, eyes blazing, will no longer hide behind fear. It will stand on choice. The war regent backed away, but it was too late. Guards loyal to the queen surrounded him. As silence fell, she turned to the human, her voice soft again. I told you tomorrow would come, she said. He met her gaze. I never doubted. Outside, the galaxy held its breath. The final choice, between crown and heart, was about to be made. The great assembly was broadcast across the galaxy. Worlds watched. Empires listened. Enemies waited for weakness. The alien queen stood alone at the center of the chamber, no guards beside her, no advisors whispering caution. Only truth remained. For generations, she began, her voice steady, we ruled through distance. Through fear. Through the belief that a queen must stand above all, and alone. Murmurs spread. She lifted her hand, and the human stepped forward into the light. Gasps echoed across 1,000 systems. This being challenged nothing with force, she continued. He demanded nothing. He bent no knee. And yet, he changed everything. The council rose in protest. A queen cannot bind herself. I already have, she interrupted. The crown lifted from her head, hovering for a heartbeat before settling back, changed. Its light softened, reshaped by her will. I choose a future where strength is shared, she declared. Where loyalty is not commanded, but earned. She turned to him, her expression no longer guarded. I was born a queen, she said quietly. But with you. I learned how to choose. Silence fell. Then, one by one, the assembly lowered their heads. Not in fear. In acceptance. Later, far from thrones and titles, they stood together at the observation deck. Stars drifted endlessly before them. So, he said softly, what happens now? She smiled, warm, unguarded, real. Now, she replied, taking his hand, we walk forward together. Not as ruler and subject. But as equals. As something rarer, she said. As a choice the universe cannot undo. The stars reflected in the glass like quiet witnesses. The door behind them remained unlocked. This time. Neither of them needed it closed.